I wanted to share this really cool resource with you. This is a book that my son wrote and he illustrated, and they put it all together in this nice handy dandy professional looking book. It was printed and made by Lulu Jr. and this is just such a great activity for homeschool kids or public school kids or private school kids, or just a summer project to show what your kids have learned. It's a great keepsake. So anyhow, I just want to show you this. We're going to read you his story just so you can get an idea of how big it is and how nicely the print quality and stuff is. So my son was in 3rd grade when he wrote this, and the book is called The Dragon's Wings. Once upon a time, there was a kingdom known for how happy everyone was. The king's name was Thomas, and he was known for being an outstanding leader. The people raised cattle for meat, cheese, and their hides. In the town lived Charles, a renowned tanner. He was known near and far for the sensational leather he made. One day the people woke up to an appalling roar. The people hastily lined up at the castle and urged the king to do something. The king sent out scouts who discovered the roar belonged to a violent dragon. In a cave somewhere in the forest, the dragon had just woken up from a 1,000-year hibernation. He was a big blue dragon standing 20 feet tall. This massive beast had a fiery breath that could engulf an entire forest in 1 minute. Ever since the Egyptians had cut off his exquisite wings, he had been livid. He was furious at people and ready for revenge. He had spent 1,000 years recovering and dreaming of vindication. Meanwhile, back in the kingdom, Thomas was gathering his 4 most valiant knights. He sent them to procure knowledge to fortify the kingdom against the dragon. The first knight went south to the forest. When he got there, he was overcome with sadness. He noticed that there was no noise in the burnt forest. The animals had vanished. The second knight went west to the lake. He was devastated to see a mound of fish bones. How much food did the dragon need? The third knight ventured east to Egypt. There he ascertained through the hieroglyphics on the pyramid wall that the dragon was very old. The Egyptians had cruelly cut off the dragon's wings and enraged the once tender-hearted dragon. The fourth knight went north to the ocean. He swam underwater where he saw mermaids. They told the knight that long ago the dragon held nightly marshmallow roast in his cave in China, but they pleaded with him not to hurt the dragon. The knights all returned to convey what they had learned. Being a wise leader, the king determined they should not fight the dragon, but rather help him. King Thomas consulted with their local tanner about the possibility of making new wings for the dragon. Moved by the king's kind gesture, the tanner began working on the wings. Meanwhile, the king and his men set off to befriend the dragon. They trekked to China in search of the cave described by the mermaids. When they found the cave, the wise king realized that the dragon would not trust them. So the king started a fire outside the cave and began roasting marshmallows. The dragon smelled the fire and cautiously ventured out. The king warmly welcomed the dragon and explained they wanted to be friends. He told the dragon how sorry he was for what had happened to his wings, and he explained how their tanner was making him new wings. The dragon cautiously agreed to accompany them back to the kingdom. They arrived a day and a half later. The people and the dragon were equally nervous about the situation. The tanner saw the dragon coming and hurried to show him the wings. The dragon was thrilled with the exquisite wings. The large wings were red with the royal emblem on them. The tanner quickly sewed them on the dragon. The proud dragon beamed with pride. From then on, the dragon returned to being kind. Once again, the dragon hosted weekly marshmallow roasts that were attended by all. The end. As you can see, it's beautifully the colors and stuff are very vivid. They give you markers to use, so the colors count. They really pop. You can have it made with your child's own handwriting, which is a really fun keepsake, or they can print it if you want it to look a little bit more professional. And again, this is great whether you have a beginner writer who tells you their story so they can see how it comes to life, or if you have someone who, like my third grader, was working very hard this year on composing good paragraphs. We worked a lot with the thesaurus on finding better words. So this was just kind of the total composite of a huge year's worth of work, and it was just beautifully put together in a really fun way to show my son how important writing is, and it makes such a beautiful keepsake. So again, this book was from Lulu Jr., and you can find more instructions on how to order your own very affordable keepsake on my website below.